Well, I think the first thing is there's how you manage yourself, and then there's what you communicate to your child. So, for instance, you asked a minute ago about what about the kids that don't want to
Yeah,
talk to you, and
yeah,
they might not for a while, and that might be, I'm trying to do a little bit of stress inoculation as we start a new college school year. That might be okay, and maybe no news is good news. Maybe if they're not really wanting to talk all that much, it could mean they're really acclimating into their new setting nicely, and you might want to just let that be okay. And we don't want our children to feel responsible for us.
yeah.
That's when it becomes a parentification of the child, which we don't want. We want them to just be able to enjoy their separateness and feel that confidence growing that they can manage it. And I think if you have this is another issue, Dennis, is very important. If you have a pre existing good relationship with your child, then you can expect that to carry through. They might back up or be a little different for a little while, but if they know that you're there, then they know that you're there. And if they didn't know that you're there, then you probably have more work to do during this period as you part ways to make sure they know that you're there. And that also, I want to put a fine point on this. It's not uncommon and can be really helpful to families if you're not feeling that connected to your young adult child going off to college, to make sure that you really take some time before they leave to really try to kind of clean up whatever is awry. And I wouldn't wait until the month before when you're spending your time at Target buying things. I would give yourself a nice big window, like maybe 6 months even before they go off to college. Now, some of you listening right now would be saying, well, thanks, Cindy. I mean, I didn't do that. So now what? So now what? So now you stay in touch and you say, I want to respect your separateness, but I also want you to absolutely know I'm here. Because if you haven't had a good relationship, then you won't know what that silence means. And that could be frightening, especially if your child has had some pre existing mental health issues or behavioral issues or whatever, academic issues. Then you might be thinking, I wonder how all that's going, and you won't know what it means because maybe they don't really share a lot with you. And also, just to normalize this point, Dennis, you know, it is normal part of development not to share as much with your parents. Your peer group becomes your peers, your age mates. And that's a developmental step of separation, which is needed as a young adult to be a healthy, functioning adult.